How much earnest money is normal? Here are some earnest money deposit mistakes. Once home buyers find a home they love, they declare their commitment to the seller with a sizable chunk of change known as an earnest money deposit. Yes, it sounds so sincere and serious because it is. And if you get it wrong, you could lose thousands of dollars. To scare you straight, here are some mistakes with earnest money that home buyers often make. How much is the typical earnest money deposit? Before we get into the potential mistakes that home buyers often make when it comes to earnest money, it's important to understand how much earnest money is normal, as well as typical earnest money percentages. First, make sure you fully grasp what an earnest money deposit is, namely, proof that a real estate buyer is earnest or committed to completing a sale by having some skin in the game. The amount of earnest money is negotiable between the buyer and the seller, but is usually about 1 to 2% of the purchase price. This good faith money is generally held by the real estate seller's broker or in escrow by a title company to be used as a credit toward the down payment and closing costs. Mistake number 1, offering too little of an earnest money deposit. In an aggressive real estate seller's market, many homes receive multiple offers from anxious buyers. So how much earnest money should you put down? Your real estate agent should be able to recommend an appropriate amount of earnest money to go with your real estate offer. In an aggressive real estate seller's market, many homes receive multiple offers from anxious buyers. 1 to 2% has typically been the norm in an earnest money deposit. However, in today's market, for a home buyer's offer to stand out, 4 to 5% of the purchase price might be more realistic and make your offer stand out. Mistake number 2, removing contract contingencies. One of the biggest mistakes real estate buyers make with their earnest money deposit is agreeing to remove contingencies that give them wiggle room they may legitimately need. For instance, if buyers agree to remove a loan contingency and their financing falls through, they'll lose their earnest money. Never give up your right to cancel your purchase until you are 100% certain that you're going to be able to close. Mistake number 3, ignoring contract timelines. In some cases, the seller's real estate agent includes a timeliness clause with a hard date for closing, after which the earnest money is non-refundable. Ensuring that you as a buyer stay on the schedule dictated by a contract can assist with not losing your earnest money deposit. This means carefully tracking how long you have to terminate the contract for valid reasons. Mistake number 4, buying as is and not knowing the risks. A buyer who purchases foreclosed properties should be cautious putting down significant amounts for earnest money. These properties are typically sold as is, so the sellers will stipulate that the earnest money is non-refundable. As a buyer, protect yourself by doing your due diligence. Mistake number 5, blindly voiding the contract. When a sale falls through, both the buyer and the seller need to sign a document voiding the sales contract. If a seller won't release all of the earnest money that a buyer feels legally entitled to, that buyer can refuse to sign the document and essentially make the home unsellable by putting a blemish on the title. In other words, buyers should never ever sign this contract unless they're sure the real estate seller's broker or a title company will give them back all of the deposit they deserve. Mistake number 6, impulsively purchasing a home that's not a good fit. This may seem like a no-brainer, but it's easy to get swept away by a home's cool features when you first see it. A buyer may put in an offer only to realize days later that the soaking tub may be fabulous, but the kitchen isn't functional. So do your due diligence and make sure that you're 100% serious about buying that home before making an offer and submitting your earnest money. Mistake number 7, not knowing when to let it go. Personal problems may be very serious to you, but they're not a valid reason to cancel a home purchase. And if you're bailing on a deal with no legal justification, fighting to get your earnest money back from escrow is probably a waste of time. Just accept that it's gone and move on.